and signs for your ride. SignBros is the place where we make your signs.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, I hit that chord.
All right, I was gonna try to go with the high note, but like it would have cracked. I didn't do my vocal warm-ups yet this morning. Yeah.
Welcome to the show. We are the SignBros. We're all up in your business. Good morning to our special guest, comedian from El Paso, Lando VC.
Yeah, thank you guys. Very excited to be here.
Excellent.
Welcome to the show, bro.
Thank you, man. I was worried about how am I going to do my hello, I was trying to do my homework beforehand. Check you guys out. It's very impressive, the operation you guys got going. So,
excellent.
Super happy to be here. So,
awesome.
And that just came out. I thought I was going to go with the hi, hello, and then all of a sudden just like, it's not going there. So,
you want to redo it?
No, I was good with that take. I was like, I think that's kind of in harmony, more or less.
It works.
Tell us how you got started, man, in the business, in the comedic business.
So apparently a lot of comedians get started, like you either have the dream since you're little, which I didn't. I've been watching for a long time. Like my first comedy album was George Lopez, listening in the car around 4th or 5th grade.
Okay.
So we had him on album, so my dad, he coached us in baseball, Little League. And so when we'd go home, he dropped 3 or 4 of us off. And so we'd all listen in the car on the way home.
Oh, nice.
And so, yeah, like the whole, I can't breathe and she couldn't breathe. My grandma, she couldn't breathe because her show didn't come on because somebody changed the channel, So my Judge Judy didn't come on and I didn't know to take my medicine and I couldn't breathe. That was like one of the big ones.
Did you like recite his jokes?
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff
we just listened to the album several times that year, And so
you just had it in your brain.
So yeah, I fell in love since a long time, but I just never thought that I was going to do comedy, I was good at math and stuff in school, and so my dad was always like, be an engineer, mijo, or a doctor, or something, a lawyer, And I actually started pursuing filmmaking at first, so that's what I'm still doing too, especially now that COVID's here, can't perform so much. So, so comedy, it started, so you either start from when you're young, or like a lot of people, they're at an open mic and they see someone doing jokes and like, oh my God, this guy's not funny, but he's getting laughs. I'm going to try, I'm going to sign up, And so that's how it happened for me,
That's this guy's dream right there.
No, not a dream. It's more like a challenge, I can imagine us 3 brothers going out and having a good time and saying, "Go for it. If you do it, I'll do it." That kind of thing.
Yeah. That's how it was too with some friends. Like,
go for it.
All right, if you sign up, I'll sign up. Yeah. It's like karaoke, like, all right, I'll go if you go. Because it's embarrassing, if it doesn't go well. It's just like everybody sees you like failing, and just that's not fun.
You just hear the crickets.
Yeah.
Or unless you're like we were in high school, where we get our friend drunk and tell him, "You sound awesome, go," and have him sing like Bohemian Rhapsody, and he like totally sucks, and we just laugh at him. That's what we would do. I don't know.
Yeah, right on.
That's what I was afraid these guys would do with me for comedy.
What? Just throw you on there.
Throw me on there, laugh at me. Not laugh with me, laugh at me. So.
Yeah. Don't laugh at the punchline. Laugh at the silence after the punchline.
There you go.
So what about comedy attracted you? Was it you being able to be silly and just laugh, or was it the actual response that you would see people get, like when George do a joke, or people like that? What was it attracted you to you?
Mm-hmm. So the entertainment part, like I like to entertain people, be silly and stuff, but I don't always have to be the center of attention or anything. Like off stage, I'm not the same way I am on stage. I'm very silly on stage, kind of do some act outs, a little bit crazy, But what was the question? It was leading there, but.
No, my question was basically, what drew you the attention? Was it the attention you get, the reaction from people, or you just been able to act out?
No. So half of it was the reaction, the laughter. That's like, it feels so good. If you ever played sports, it's like hitting a home run in baseball or scoring a touchdown or something. It feels amazing. Like when you tell a joke and you think that's something, you think of something funny and you don't know if it's going to work, and you tell the joke and you get a good reaction. People are laughing, they're smiling, they're feeling better than they were before. That feels great, And you know that you're the one to be able to help them feel that way, So that's really cool.
But at the same time, that same joke could work with this crowd, and then you can have a crowd the next night, and that joke bombs, right? I mean, that's just hit or miss with comedy.
Yeah, depending on the group of people. Yeah, if they're a completely different group of people, sometimes you gotta deliver it differently, or they have different like tastes and stuff.
Yeah.
What one group finds funny, like math jokes. If you're doing a show for a room full of teachers, maybe you can do a couple math jokes and puns. They'll like it,
Sure.
But if it's a different crowd, like they might not vibe as much on it.
That is strange how that works, because if you have a mixed crowd and it doesn't hit one night, it's strange how they're all different backgrounds, but they all are on the same level comedy-wise, I guess, or something, because you would think somebody would laugh out of a big group. But sometimes if it bombs, it's nobody. I don't know, it's just very strange. So I give you credit for what you do, bro.
Oh,
Seriously.
absolutely,
Seriously.
absolutely. That's
It takes a lot of guts, I guess. Only at first, though, you know. There's a lot of
Hecklers.
There's not a lot of hecklers, but there's a lot of comedians or people that do comedy that have the guts, but just not the jokes yet. You know, sometimes it takes a while.
Yeah.
Took me a long time. You know, like I can be funny off stage. My girlfriend, she thinks I'm hilarious. Like legitimately, like, yeah, we've been together like going on 7 years. We're gonna get married, but like just it's been a matter of finances. You know, she's finishing with school, and then you know I'm finally making headway in my career. And she knew since a long time ago that like it's gonna be slow. I'm really pursuing this, and she was like, yeah, she's been my number one fan for a long time.
Cool.
And so just being able to translate it from off stage to on stage, it's like a lot of different things. Kind of like podcasting, probably. Just the way the microphone works by itself is something you got to get used to.
Yeah.
You know, just how it sounds in the headphones or like on stage, how the audience is going to react. You know.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of times people will step on their jokes, which is to they think the joke didn't land because they know the joke very well and they're like, oh, that's the punchline, they should get it like right now. But a lot of times you got to give it 2 or 3 seconds, give it a little bit of silence. And that kind of signals the audience too, like that was the punchline, let them understand it, wait for it, and then okay, there's the joke, you know. But a lot of times the nerves, they make you feel like, oh man, go on to the next joke, you know. So you start stepping on the laughs.
Stepping on the
So if they don't laugh at you right away, just give it a
couple seconds, Carlos.
Give it a couple seconds.
Not too long, though. Not too long. It's not funny.
You call that stepping on the joke, you said?
Stepping on the jokes,
terminology. Wow, cool.
Or on the laughs, I guess, more.
So what would be like the number one don't do thing for a comedian? Like, I've always wondered about people that, you know, when they don't get the joke, they keep trying to make it funny and trying to drag it out. Is that like something you shouldn't do as a comedian, or
it depends if you do it in a funny way.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you can't say the exact same punchline the same way and expect it to go better. You can say the same idea in a different way, and that helps kind of like drive home the point. Maybe they'll get it on the second go.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Repetition itself is like a principle in comedy where you just repeat something over and over, and it becomes absurd, you know, after a while, and it becomes hilarious that way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I actually spent time studying comedy, like psychology, while I was in college, you know?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because some electives, one of the electives, the courses I had to take was
Comedy.
research. No, writing research. Yeah.
101.
It was like how to do research with citing sources and looking up studies and whatnot. And so I looked up, I thought, I was already doing comedy at the time. I was like, well, why not see what science says on laughter? Yeah, so I spent some time learning that. So I know a couple different theories about it and how comedy works, and I kind of nerd out on it. It's fun, you know.
Who's your favorite all time?
All time? Ooh, living or dead? I guess all time.
Yeah.
I guess George Carlin, man. I think so. When you ask me why I do comedy, so the one half is for the laughter and just I mean, you can't beat that job too. You know, it's a tough job, especially for the first few years, building an hour of material that you can then go around the country with and get paid. So it takes several years of sacrifice, and you have to have another day job, you know, at the same time. So the cool aspect of the job, you know, just working a couple hours a day, and the rest you get to travel and experience different cities and stuff. Man, that's awesome. That's fun, you know, and you're entertaining people. You can drink on the job, like if you like to drink, you know. And so the other half is just like George Carlin. You know, a lot of people think that, man, he just speaks so much truth. And like, that's kind of the first step of people waking up. You know what I mean? When woke culture first happened, I kind of associated it when I was younger, like with George Carlin, with the whole American Dream bit that he did. You ever hear the American Dream bit?
I'm sure I have heard it. Yeah, I've heard a lot of George Carlin stuff, man.
So it's basically like he ends his whole bit saying they call it the American Dream for a reason. That's because you have to be asleep to believe it, you know. That's pretty harsh criticism, you know, but also not incorrect, you know. And so so with corporations, you know, kind of like wages and wages don't go up, but productivity does go up.
Okay.
And you know, people struggle more. That's why we have such contentious elections now, you know. So it's crazy. And you know, like as a comedian, you don't want to do too many Trump jokes, offend them, or do the opposite, you know, just because it's very polarized. And a lot of times, comedians, we feel like both sides are kind of messed up. You know, one may be worse than the other, but it's kind of just splitting hairs, really, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So,
But it's all open game, right?
Yeah, it's all open game. If
Well,
it's a
it
good
should-
joke,
it
it's a
should
good
be.
joke.
It should be. I think people get real offended by a lot of stuff this time, man.
Nowadays.
Yeah, it is very sensitive.
nowadays.
George Carlin talked about that a lot
Yeah,
too.
the other day we were looking up some roasts, some like the
Don Rickles
Don Rickles
stuff,
stuff with
old roasts with-
Sammy Davis Jr. and stuff, and these guys are.
Oh yeah, they don't hold back.
They don't hold back at all
Yeah,
with each other, man. You know, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
that's comedy.
It is comedy.
That's how
It's
it should
jokes.
be,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
it's jokes. It's
Yeah.
jokes, but everybody understands it. That's the good thing. In these ones, the black dudes harping on the white dudes, and the white dudes harping on the Puerto Ricans, and the black. It's all
Jews.
fair game, and it's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Nobody's killing each other.
Yeah.
yeah, sticks and stones, man. You know, it's just words. Like, just let it slide. Like, you know, just be stronger. Don't be so brittle in spirit, I guess. Like Chappelle
Yeah.
would say. Chappelle's like #1 living, I think, right now.
Yeah.
Or Bill Burr, he's pretty up there too. You know, killed it on Saturday Night Live recently.
Oh really?
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. It was like 2 weeks ago, I think. Yeah, he was on there. So Chris Rock was on there the week before, and Chris Rock, obviously a huge comedian, awesome, legend in his own time and stuff. But his monologue at SNL the week before, Bill Burr, was more monologue-y, you know, not as much like that back and forth vibe that a club comedian kind of does. And not that Bill does just clubs, because he does a lot of big theaters and stuff. But he was on the road really taking it seriously for SNL. It was the first time hosting, and he really wanted to kick butt, you know? Can we curse here, by the way? Like, I try not to do it too much, like, I do, but like, I should not too much, you know, because you can sell more audiences
You be-
doing
you be
cleaner
you,
comedy
man.
and stuff, you know? So
Oh,
it's not
really?
a bad thing. Yeah, Christian comedy or clean comedy, like, they pay a lot, corporate comedy. So it's not as fun, you know what I mean? It's not as
Let's put it this way: our dad watches and he's a preacher. Okay, so that's,
Oh, there you go.
no pressure. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Oh man. So were you like a class clown in high school?
No, not a class clown. I had some pretty good grades in high school, you know what I mean? And then in college, I just kind of stopped thinking that it was worth the effort, and I just didn't do as well, you know? Like,
Why are
I had
you-
a really hard time, like, sticking with it, you know?
Are you implying that if you're funny, you have to have bad grades or something? Or
No, not at all, man. No. I was just like, well, you know, Bill Gates dropped out. I'm going to drop out. You know, like, he pursued what he wanted, and he kicked butt. Like, this regimented school is not helping me. you know, very like, "Meh."
What did you go to college for originally?
Filmmaking.
Oh, okay.
Filmmaking,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Oh, wow. Here locally? Where'd
No,
you go?
I went to Notre Dame.
Wow.
Yeah. It only lasted a year, though. Like, I never talk about it. I'm finally ready to start talking about it. And, like, because it's embarrassing for me, you know what I mean? I'd rather people not know that, like, because even though I went to, it's a good school, you know, like,
Awesome school.
I failed, you know, like, the second semester. First semester went great. Second semester, I had a hard time adjusting. I was 18, got really cold, didn't have very many friends. And
Gotcha.
I was not strong enough mentally, you know, I just wasn't ready. And
Oh, that's a good.
so-
Even if you were there for 2 weeks, I'd be bragging about Notre Dame.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
one
I
more.
would too, man.
Yeah.
That's one
So
more
I'm
year
trying to
than
work
all
on
of
some
us
comedy
put
to be able
together.
to talk about it. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah,
That's cool, man.
That is awesome. I mean, just going and saying that you were.
Yeah, and your hunchback healed real nicely too.
No, I know. Thanks, dude. Yeah, I know. Rudy. It's so classic, man. It's like, how can you not shed a tear? Like, he did it, man. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't give up and you did it. You know.
Didn't we have a cousin that went to Notre Dame? Johnny Penasco?
Yeah.
Distant
Something like
cousin?
that, distant cousin.
Yeah. Well, still, we'd like to brag about it though.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
We went
Yeah,
to-
we got intelligence in our family, or like, yeah, we got.
Somewhere in there.
Well, you guys got the musical talent. I saw you guys online. You know. So.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
We like to
Yeah,
sing, yeah.
performing. You guys have been a band for a while and stuff too. Like, I imagine.
We've been singing pretty much all our life, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Together,
I mean,
different story.
I mean, we grew up singing in
There
church.
was a while where we didn't
Oh,
couldn't stand each other. I'm joking.
We went our separate ways, and
But the business is cool too. Like, do you mind telling me a little bit about it? Just because I hadn't.
Flip it on us, huh?
I was just so interested. Yeah, I'm legitimately like super impressed and surprised I hadn't seen it before, because it's a lot of great content, you know, and like I appreciate you guys reaching out to me. I don't know who turned you on to me, but that's really cool. And then I'm excited just for El Paso overall, because I have some comedian friends that we're about to start launching new content under. It's called Western Slayland. So, you know, Western Playland, of course. So it's just like a take on it. It's like a regionally based, like El Paso kind of based comedy.
Cool.
So it's not all El Paso centric, but it's that way to help like our notoriety locally. So people know Western Playland, so Western Slayland.
Yeah.
So
How is obviously you probably deal with Burt Reed and at the comic strip and stuff like that? Is he like to get a lot of local talent, or is he all about like the bigger names and stuff like that?
He's more about the bigger names. Like he throws us a bone every now and then, but he likes more to keep it professional,
Okay.
So like, which is totally understandable. Like
business,
a lot of where I'm at and like where a lot of us locals are at, like, it's two or three different levels, not just one different level. So he wants to keep it like professional.
Gotcha. Well, I mean,
So
he
that
has
makes sense
huge
for
names
him.
on there. He just had Mencia.
Yeah, he does. Mencia,
That's huge. That's a huge name, man.
Chris Kattan is coming in November.
Wow.
As soon
I
as
saw that,
they're back, they're shut down again because of the whole COVID.
So they do it just like they made it a little earlier, I guess, right?
Yeah, they had made it earlier, but now since these numbers are kind of crazy, it's all shut down till November. So Chris Kattan from SNL, he'll be here, and
That's
so
awesome.
he always brings a lot of people. Willie Barcena, man, like, do you guys know Willie Barcena?
Barcena.
He's
the
huge in
name,
El Paso. He's pretty like well known in Latino for Latino comedy. You know what I mean? He's kind of like George Lopez in that way. They're contemporaries and stuff. Yeah, he's awesome. Like, I've worked with Willie a lot, and I met him at the comic strip. I reached out to Willie just on Facebook back in 2013. He had a show on Showtime, a 1 hour special, his third special. Nice. And I thought it was freaking great content, very similar to subjects I wanted to talk about,
Nice.
And so at the one time I was like, dang, this is what I wanted to talk about. But, you can always have different takes or have different subject matter, And at the same time, I was just very floored by how funny it was and just how I thought clever, a smart take. So I just reached out, I just thought, well, maybe this guy will respond. And I was like, hey, Willie, I'm a big fan. See, you're coming to El Paso soon. Maybe I could take you to lunch. I'll buy you lunch. And maybe if I could ask you a couple questions about comedy, And he obliged. And
awesome.
He's super cool. And I've worked with him on the road and stuff. And like, he's given me my biggest breaks.
That's cool.
And I actually helped him shoot a special that we shot here for Netflix in 2013.
With the film, with some of your film background, or
Yeah.
Awesome.
So Leo Marketing, they're a local marketing company. They had all the equipment. I was just like an additional camera. So
Nice.
I didn't like direct the whole thing. It was another company, but I was just one of the assistants that way with another camera on the side, on the from the audience perspective.
Another angle.
Yeah, and it was on Netflix for a while. It was shot at Bart Reed's Comedy Club too. It's a little bit of comedy history in El Paso.
You performed there, right?
Yeah, I've performed there several times. And then more comedy history in El Paso too is Gabriel Iglesias. He shot his second special, I believe.
Yeah.
El Fluffy,
Yeah. At the Cesar Chavez, I think.
Chavez, yeah.
And so I've been lucky enough to be able to go to the green room back there, and like he had his little logo drawn on the wall, like with a lot of other artists who've signed before.
Oh, nice.
And so Felipe Esparza, I was hanging out with him. You know Felipe Esparza?
Yeah.
So yeah, we were hanging out backstage, and Felipe also kind of
Felipe
copied him.
signed
He did like
you met him.
Oh,
didn't you, at
he was on the same
airport or
flight as I
something?
was, and he was cool enough to give me a picture. Yeah,
he's awesome.
Yeah.
What's up, fool?
He stands out pretty good.
What's up, fool? Yeah, he's a big guy, long hair.
Yeah.
And when I first met him, it was just really coincidental at Rudy's. Like we were at Rudy's near the comic strip on Yarborough, I think it is, or I forgot where, off the freeway.
Yeah.
And at the time I had long hair, I looked like his little brother, and that's what he said. He's like, "You look like my little brother, bro." And so
That little brother, he used to dress as a girl. He says talks about that on one of his bits.
Oh yeah. Oh okay.
Don't be stealing bits, man. Speaking of that, really quick, going back to when he said that Willie was doing some jokes, he thought I'd like to talk on that topic.
Yeah.
How do you, as a comedian trying to do original stuff, how do you stay
Not
clear
steal,
of that? Because we wite music and stuff, and sometimes I'm writing a really cool song, and one of these punks will come along and say, "Oh, that sounds like," and then like, "Oh crap!" So I just get rid of it. I'm just wondering if it's kind of the same way where you're trying to do a joke and it's like, "Oh man, and you stay away from it because of that, or like you said, you shape it to still work but be your own.
Yeah.
Is there like rules on that, or just a respect?
Yeah, there's
thing,
rules, I guess, kind of like. I mean, you obviously can't steal Carlos Mencia, even though he still brings a lot of people. The Latino community still loves him. Like he lost his show because Joe Rogan.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy there.
Do you know the story?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Called them out.
You can't be doing that. It's not like karaoke. You can't be going up there.
It was a very controversial time. I know that.
Yeah, but like he said, it's so hard. It's such a thin line. Like if you create a joke in your head and you think it's original, and then somebody says, "I heard that," joke kind of before.
It depends on like both the premise and the punchline. You know what I mean? So Jerry Seinfeld, he's got a lot of jokes about like what's the deal with airplane food. Just like talking about airplanes in general. You know, you can have a different take about airplane culture or how it feels to ride or what it's like to be in the hotel or stuff like that. Depends on where you go with the punchline, really. Because that kind of is what differentiates it.
Well, that's
I
scary.
like his.
It is,
I
yeah,
like
it
his
is.
comedy, man. Seinfeld.
Yeah. He's
That's-
still
that's-
great.
I could
Is there like
watch
a
him.
committee or something you got to run jokes through to make sure it's okay? Or you just,
fact
I would
check-
be terrified
a
to walk on
fact
stage.
check comedy team.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
say something, and then people are like, "Oh, I heard that before," and like, "Oh, that's
Well, comedians usually tell you right away. It's like,
wow."
sometimes we're a bunch of crabs in a bucket, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Pull each other down, like, hey, that's someone else's joke. You know,
Wow.
even if it's different, like, it sounds similar. And
You'll
then
hear
you might
about
have
it
to
once you get
tweak
off
it or-
stage.
kind of a lot of, there's a lot of support, especially in El Paso compared to other cities, what I've been told and what I've seen from visiting other cities and their open mic scene. There's a lot of support, but there is still that, you know, jealous nature about within, oops, oh my goodness. I was using my...
Live on camera, you saw it.
He attacked us.
Oh, what did you
I'm
do?
so sorry.
Oh, the screen. What did you do? Oh no, I'm joking. It was already like that, bro. It was already like that.
Oh man.
Sorry.
That's funny.
Halloween,
That's
not
funny.
I was gonna go for it, but I forgot you're not full time yet with the comedy yet. So
Okay, yeah.
I'm joking.
I know you'd be suing for like some peanuts and like, you know, a handful of rice. or
Sorry,
something.
buddy. Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, I'm so sorry I hit it. Like,
When
I
you
was
said
excited.
El Paso's real supportive, were you talking about other comedians supporting
Yeah,
comedians?
yeah.
How are El Paso crowds?
The crowds, they're still getting used to what comedy is and what it entails. Like a lot of people think that heckling is part of it, you know,
Helping
like,
you out.
it is a part of it, but it's not supposed to be like a main feature of every show or anything. You know, like they're just trying to help out, be a part of the show. You know, just get in on the
Get
fun.
some attention.
Yeah, you just got to learn how to navigate it. You know what I mean? But El Paso crowds sometimes the crowd's not like really aware that there's going to be a show. You know, especially for these open mics, like maybe there's not enough posters
gotcha.
or no one told them beforehand. It's kind of like a surprise show. It's like, all right, start listening to
Last
us.
minute, yeah.
Like stop watching the game. You know, stop talking to whoever you're here with and turn around and watch us. You know.
Oh, man.
And so you got to deal with that. But you just got to be savvy in getting them to listen. You know, you got to touch base with them, be friendly, maybe poke a little bit of fun depending on what happens. You know, you can't be too mean because then they'll turn on you or you
Sure.
might, you know, get beat up off stage or something. You know.
Wow.
That's funny.
So what is your biggest fear as a comedian? As far as like when you get on stage, what is the biggest fear that you in your mind that you're always like, ugh?
Biggest fear is
Not being funny.
maybe just not being funny, but that's not even really an issue anymore at this point. Yeah. It's just making
That's probably
sure.
at the beginning, right?
Yeah, it's
Once
definitely
you-
at the
yeah.
beginning, but I've been at it like 8 years pretty much.
Oh, cool.
Going on 8 years. In 2012, around May, I think is when I started.
Wow.
And so, yeah, they say it takes about 7 to 10 years on
Wow.
average for a comedian to find their voice and be ready to really headline. Yeah, some people do it faster, you know, depending on the
Yeah,
work ethic, depending on the scene, like in New York City or in LA.
A lot
there's-
depends on who you're connected to as well.
who you're connected to, yeah. So being in LA or New York, there's a lot more scouts, there's a lot more mics, so you can hit 2 or 3 mics per night, several nights a week.
Wow.
And so you get, you know, that whole Malcolm
Exposure.
Gladwell 10,000 hours thing, you know, you can get your practice up right away in cities like that. But in a city like El Paso, you know, you got to attend the few that there are, or maybe make some of your own, you know, create your own opportunities. So that's what I did.
Wow,
Because
create your own opportunity. So
Oh, yeah.
what was your first gig at? I mean, your first like paid gig? Or no, the first time you actually got up in front of people and
Yeah.
just did your routine. What was that?
So the first time was at the pizza joint.
Pizza.
So,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
the local
Downtown?
pizza.
was that where we had
downtown area?
pizza that one
There's-
night?
Yeah.
Not,
Oh,
no,
okay.
They have open mic there downtown now for the
Yeah.
last couple of years.
Little stage
But
there,
actually
huh?
started at the original location across from UTEP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know
Yeah.
that was the original location. I thought the downtown one was the original one.
Oh, no, downtown was number 2, actually. And then they
Was
got
it a
West Side number 3.
open
they're
mic?
really cool. Mel Maese, shout out to her.
Was it open mic for comedy or just open mic for in general? Because I know they
was-
do musicians and stuff too as well.
Yeah, well, it was in general. So
Wow.
mixed mic. Yeah, so it was put on by Mickey Gertz. He was a cool guy living in El Paso. He lives up north now. But yeah, so he would put it on, like he had a real nice voice, little ukulele. He'd start off the show, you know. And we're like, all right, look at the list. All cool with his long hair. It's like, all right,
Up
Lando
next.
VC, give it up to Lando VC. You know?
Nice.
Yeah, and, you know, we go through the list. It's cool. First come, first serve. That's
Yeah.
usually how it works. So, and then shout out to BWOMs. You know, now that we're talking about other production companies and just open mics in general. So BWOMs, they've been together and they were started by, what what's it called? Border Senses? I think it's called Border Senses. BWOMs is an acronym for Barbed Wire Open Mic Series.
Oh, wow.
And so they're the most popular one and the most well attended. And Black Orchid, apparently they just closed, man. This COVID's been shutting down businesses.
Was that a club as well?
Yeah. Excuse me?
Was that a club as well, Black Orchid?
It was a cocktail bar, nice small, well decorated little place, and like so that was the most popular open mic. It was a mixed mic put on by a local professor of literature, Richie Marufo. So shout out to Richie. Yeah. So he's a really cool guy, great host, like very inviting, fair with the time. Everybody gets 5-7 minutes and puts music on in between. Just a really great MC and all-in-one producer, you know. So. Nice. He tries really hard to put on a good show, and a lot of people come out. So you get a lot of poets. You know, he's a professor of literature, like I said. So he tells his class, "Hey, come out, do a poem." So you get a lot of that.
Sure.
So,
Wow.
and the music and comedy, you know, the comedians usually kind of ruin the deep vibe that the poets said, or the musicians, and then the comedians, you know, with their vulgar jokes, you know, like yeah.
Is there like a site where people can go and see these kind of events, like what you're talking about?
Yeah, so on Facebook, there's a pretty big group. It's called El Paso Juarez Las Cruces. You know, El Paso /Juarez /Las Cruces, kind of for the whole area. Comedy. So El Paso Las Cruces Comedy. It's a group on Facebook, and there's almost 1,000 people on there. So it's a pretty good little audience. So that's where a lot of people advertise their stuff. So there's BWOMs, and then there's Jerry Carnes. I want to talk about him a little bit. He's my buddy. Like, that's where I first started doing most of my open mics. That was at Coconuts off of Piedras. If you've ever been to Coconuts, a lot of nurses go there in the morning when they get off their shift. Yeah. And one time, Jerry was telling jokes, and somebody just took it the wrong way, and they took a big can of land shark and threw it at him on stage. Yeah, luckily he matrixed it, but he died. Like, whoa. But we got it on video and everything. Really? Yeah, nice. So it's a classic El Paso comedy history tidbit. You know,
we'll put it on the screen.
So he does underground comedy. That's what he does. My company is Cloud 915 ENT.
Okay, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
That is your company.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about that.
Cool. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Thank you. Definitely will. It's a promotion.
That's where I was going.
That's where I love it. You know, this crowd, the cross platforms and helping each other out. So again, thanks for the invitation.
For sure, man.
So, you know, I was just trying to think of something punny and clever and like El Paso based. I was like, El Paso's 915. And then when you're happy, you're on Cloud 9, right? So like Cloud 915. So bada bing, bada boom, you know?
Yes.
Nice.
And then, so I had a graphic designer. She works for the city of El Paso now. I used to work with her at UTEP. Her name is Asa Aguilar. So if you ever need some cool iconic graphic, you guys do design too, right? Never mind.
Come on, dude.
No, she's terrible. No, don't hire her. Like, hire the Sign Bros. My bad.
No, we need help every once in a while, man.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to shout her out because she did it for me real cheap, and she's cool. And you were in high school and stuff. I mean, college at UTEP. Yeah. So after Notre Dame, like, didn't work out, went to UTEP, which is a great school too. You know what I mean? Like, one of the top engineering schools. My girlfriend got, she got an award recently from out of 16. She was one of 16 out of the whole nation for writing a paper on new road design. So long story short, so she got
New
so
road
UTEP
design?
is definitely
Like to redesign the whole infrastructure in El Paso? Or?
No, not just a section, just like a road. Yeah, just a proposed new road and stuff.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I love UTEP. You know, like when I was in high school though, like it just didn't seem as cool. They did all this renovation as well, you know, and you just want to go to another out of state, I guess. But UTEP's so great. Like I've come to really appreciate it.
Oh, it's
yeah. And even NMSU attended there for a little while.
Oh, cool.
As well.
Nice.
Yeah, you've been everywhere.
Yeah.
Educated man.
That's good.
Because I'm fourth generation Mexican American, you know. So my family's been here a while. My parents both went to college, so for me not to finish college, it was like not gonna fly for them. You know what I mean? And I did so well in high school and stuff too. And then I just wanted to be a filmmaker and comedian. And I just kind of was like, nah, school's for suckers, mom and dad. But they're like, no, mijo, you gotta finish it.
You're gonna be a comedian?
Yeah, exactly. But they're very supportive, and like they've seen some milestones, so they don't give me a hard time about it anymore.
Awesome.
They see and plus they love comedy too. You know, Jay Leno used to watch that all the time with them. They watch Bill Maher, the Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon. So they know like comedy's great. It's just like very difficult. They just want me to be secure, you know.
And they're supportive. Good.
Yeah.
Let's say, as long as you keep us out of your jokes, you're good. Right?
Yeah, pretty much. So Cloud 915, that's where that came out of. And then I was doing comedy, like open mic, and shows. So open mic was at the station at Sunset, which hopefully they reopen. It's another victim of COVID, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That was on the west side. Really cool people there, very supportive. And then Richie with B-Woms, he would help. He would co-host. So I would host and he would run the sound. And so we had a really nice little environment there too. Tried really hard to put on nice shows. And then the church bar downtown that was put on by Manny Barquin, I think. I'm forgetting Barquin. I'm butchering his name, but anyway, Manny's a really cool
He'll know
guy.
what you're
Like
talking
he
about.
does a lot of vegan food at a church bar too with
Gotcha.
his business. Yeah. So those were great shows, man. And then we had to cancel our show in March and the pandemic, and so hopefully maybe by next March we can get some socially distanced shows going. Put together with my Cloud 915 or whatever, and get to resume that.
What's your biggest stage so far?
Biggest stage, it was a crowd of about probably 250, 300 people in Alamogordo with Willie Barcena.
Nice. Oh,
yeah.
Gordo, wow.
Yeah. So that went really well. Like, it was my best show ever. Everybody was laughing. Willie was super impressed, and like, so I can use his name so he can vouch for me and stuff. Like
That's a solid name to be able to toss around, man.
Yeah, definitely.
He's legit.
Yeah, it's bona fide. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that is major. So
Yeah.
it was really cool, man. Like I was just surfing. Like that's the only way to put it. Like a big wave, and this is what we've been training for. And
Rode it.
Just
Like-
you're in the zone.
yeah.
Nice.
That time that was already like 2 years ago, 2.5. So at that time I still wasn't sure if I was gonna do a great job. So I was still a little nervous, because Willie is giving me this big opportunity. There's a lot of people
Yeah,
gonna see
sure.
me fail if it doesn't go right.
Yeah.
But I just practice and practice. He gave me some advice. He's like, love your jokes. Like you wrote them. Do you think they're funny? They've worked. So take your time, love them, and And so I really focused on that, and just like kind of hearing myself and reacting to myself with the crowd. And also when you do your jokes so many times, it becomes second nature. You don't really think about it. Like it's kind of like you're driving the car. You can be on the phone. You're not supposed to, but you can be on the phone and driving and stuff. You know what I mean? But
Natural.
Yeah, it's like no problem to do that. So your mouth could be saying the joke, and your brain could be already working on the next joke. All right, there's someone in the crowd, I'm gonna tease them a little bit, or whatever I gotta do. So
Cool,
you're working
man.
on a whole new level. So it takes a long time to get to that.
Wow, I
but
bet.
that's where I was, and I would just surf in the crowd and making jokes up on the spot, and it was
there you
amazing.
go.
It felt so good. Yeah.
Is it
And
on,
I have video to prove it.
I was gonna ask you, is it on YouTube or anything?
I need to put it on there now.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, Carlos, you asked
Yeah,
me
definitely.
for my website, so for the show, before the show, and I was like, man, I'm still putting it together like slacker. Maybe I should have stuck with college. You know what I mean? Like, I learned how to be more disciplined.
So right now, if somebody wanted to hire you, they can contact you through your website.
I have Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
So it's both of them are at Cloud915 ENT.
ENT.
Awesome.
ENT, yeah.
Okay, we'll put it
So
on the
they're both
screen so
pretty
people
easy
can
to
check it
find.
out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Any
yeah,
big
thank
plans
you.
for 915, or are you still waiting for everything for Cloud 915?
Yeah. So no plans right now. We're just trying to find some venues, I guess, that
Gotcha.
are big enough to accommodate a bunch of people that are spaced out.
Yeah.
So everything's nice and safe, ventilated outdoors. And so probably no shows till March, unless there's a bunch of space heaters put out.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But that's plenty of time for me to work on. Like the plan, the layout, find some sponsors. Hey, shout out! I need some sponsors, by the way.
There you go. Yeah, definitely.
So I learned filmmaking. I do a lot of my own. If you looked at any of my content that I produce for the shows, we try to do a lot of promotion and funny videos. And like I said, Western Slayland, we just put together the platforms, like registered and everything, and we're gonna start releasing content either today or tomorrow. We have like a little Halloween comedy thing we did, and then we have like this workout video, another comedy thing.
Oof.
So.
I'm already tired.
So that's something you guys can. I know, right? That's something you guys can
Yeah,
check out
definitely.
more. Since there's no live shows, we'll have content through Western Slayland. Yeah.
Well, when everything goes back to normal too, I think this would be kind of a cool little venue for this right here.
little-
It'll be a really cool little,
little
venue.
lounge in
we
here.
could
Yeah,
definitely
for a
just
smaller
We'll
crowd.
be your first
It'd
crowd.
be good for an intimate open mic.
Well,
Yeah,
we do social
that'd be cool.
distancing with us three. It'd probably be just you guys, anyways. It's not that big.
And with your
Mom
live
and
setup too, that would be really good.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be cool.
I mean, it's a great setup here. Like you've got everything on the computer. If I don't break it,
We could open for you, and you'd be the main attraction. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, or I could help MC. You guys do a set, and I'll MC, or here's the next person, or whatever.
Yeah.
That'd be
Make
cool.
a little stage right here.
And then a lot of people are hungry online for live content too. It doesn't have to be live, but live, you know, people can type in, you can react to
virtual
their,
stuff,
to their comments.
We could open up the wall to the next door.
To the bar, yeah. Just put a little
Oh,
door,
I know,
go to
next
the
door.
bar. And,
Get some drinks, like a little window, right?
yeah.
Oh, a little window would be nice.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
On Facebook, there's there's a karaoke group called Quarantine Karaoke, and there's like 700,000 people on there. And so I have Anthony Ryan. So the guys in Western Slayland, it's me, Anthony Ryan, and Anthony Austin Brown. So they're two local comedians and actors and producers. You know, we're all producing this content together. But they like to do karaoke a lot, and so they'll go online. They'll go live for about an hour or two. They'll put on their Venmo or Cash App information and say, tips not necessary, but appreciated. And people, they just like to tune in. They have fans, you know, and they'll have 10, 20 people watching at a time for like the full hour.
Really?
And they'll make, they'll make a little bit of money, you know.
That's awesome.
Do a joke, and when it comes to
700,000 people
when it comes to the punchline, you got to get more to hear the punchline.
Cling, 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 cling.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's kind of like OnlyFans, you know, for karaoke,
Wow, that's cool,
I guess.
man.
You know?
I didn't know I did that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
awesome,
crazy.
man.
I'll say that this pandemic has definitely brought a lot of creativity out of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Being
like
creative and stuff. Man.
necessity, right? The mother of
Yeah,
creation.
that's right.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
a lot of people have come out of obscurity because, you know, they were doing things that no one else was online.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even virtual comedy is starting to take off too, with like headsets and people like little monitos, digital monitos.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
like people gather in the group, you know. Yeah, so all kinds of innovation going
There's
on.
space for everybody, man. I guess room for everybody.
Yeah.
Cool. Where did you go to high school at?
I went to Franklin High School over on the west side.
Oh,
What's that?
it's our first Franklin people
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
We've been having lots of Socorro students lately. I don't know why.
Oh, cool. I live in Socorro now.
Oh, you live
with
in
my girlfriend.
Socorro?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In Socorro, I played baseball and football, but in baseball, they were always so tough. They were state champs in 2009, I think. Like, my girlfriend knew the team, like a lot of the players. So that's cool. More El Paso history, you know? Like, yeah, that's a big thing I'm trying to learn, too, about El Paso. And, like, I want to eventually start putting out content and little videos about that, some history things, some stuff to be proud of. Like, there's a lot of things that El Paso's done that's pretty spectacular, you know what I mean? And people just don't think of El Paso that way, you know? They think, oh, it's a small, dusty town, nothing goes
desert,
on,
yeah.
there's nothing to do in El
We have a
Paso,
lot of
that old
history,
refrain.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Very cool.
yeah.
Wow. We hold on, let me get this here. We like doing this. We like to connect other people together. So yeah, we know there's a few. The El Paso Museum Wigwam. Have you heard of them? Ghost 915. The guys that do the Ghost Hunts. They got a great venue down there, man. I'm still showing it out there, but they're always doing parties there. Always not parties, but like events there, movies. I could see, you know, comedy there too as well. It's got that old Western saloon vibe. It's really cool, man.
What's it called?
It's Ghost 915, but I think it's called El Paso Historic Museum Society or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
I'll check it out.
But yeah, it's really cool vibe. Really cool vibe.
Yeah, nice.
So, anyways, it's cool.
El Paso's growing a lot too, like in the Northeast, in the Far East.
Yeah.
Like
East side, yeah.
Horizon's pretty much merging with El Paso at this point.
yeah.
Oh yeah. So one little shout out too for myself, if I can. So Perfect Property Photos.
Perfect property photos.
Yeah. So I do photography, real estate photography. It's like my niche,
okay.
like day job.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah. So you know, I try to have
For sure.
the intent of the business in the name. You know, so Perfect Property Photos. So I'll make some.
Oh,
really
like
nice,
the virtual tours and stuff like that.
Not yet. No.
Okay.
I'm working on that.
Okay, cool,
You
cool.
save a little money and put together all that. But right now, it's just really nice photos and help sell the house.
real
You know.
estate.
Yeah.
Comedy tour house. I can see that. If they have, what is it, comedy driving school?
Oh yeah.
Why can't you do like comedy tour house? You know, do
Yeah.
a tour of the house and tell jokes at the same time.
Yeah, you definitely could. Just good content that'll stand out. Some realtors do that.
Copyright.
Yeah.
Wow, very cool, man. Well, definitely have a lot of realtors. So what's it called again?
Perfect Property Photos.
Perfect property
Zoom in
photos.
on that.
Okay. Let me
So,
try.
yeah, and then again, Asa Aguilar, she made this as well. The little
Oh,
it's a
it's a
house
cool
and a
logo,
camera
yeah,
at the
camera,
same time.
Okay, gotcha, cool.
Gotcha. Cool, man.
Right on, man. We'll definitely let the people know about that.
Yeah, so that's on Facebook and Instagram as well. At Perfect Property Photos, all one word.
Good. We'll get all that information and put it up for you, dude. Yeah, cool.
Well, we hope
Cool.
to see you up in the bigger stage one of these days, man.
Yeah,
Under the
sounds,
big lights.
sounds great.
Yeah. Don't
Netflix.
forget about us when you.
Oh no, yeah, you guys like I'm excited to get a sign with you guys. Like when we do outdoor shows, you know,
Definitely.
it's not built, you know, for comedy.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of throwing together shows. So we need a nice backdrop,
There
you know,
you
so
go.
you guys know where I'm going already. You know?
Nice. Let us
Sign
know.
bros. Yes. Look at the camera. So,
Appreciate that, man. Hey, thanks
Cool.
for coming on, man.
yeah,
Thanks
thank
for
you guys.
joining
You
us.
guys had a
It's
lot
great.
of
You're our
fun. You know,
first
like
comedian.
I was.
So
Cool. And, like I was telling you guys before we started shooting, well, I was staying up all night, like worried about my hello, how am I gonna do it?
Your delivery
like,
and
am I
stuff.
gonna be funny? You know, this guy's supposed to be a comedian. You know, I guess it's one funny thing.
But it's good to see the human part of it too, because everybody automatically thinks, oh, he has to be funny, and you know, I'm sure for the
We
most
cry
part,
too,
most
man.
comedians,
Like, well,
for the most
funny,
part,
man.
most
Like,
comedians
yeah.
are, you know.
He has
Yeah.
feelings too, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And that's great, man.
Yeah.
Cool. Give it up
thank you,
to Lando VC right here, El Paso
Thank
comedian.
you guys. Thank you for having me.
Excellent, man.
We
Thanks.
are the Sign Bros. Make sure to subscribe on the link below, and we're signing off.
Have a good day.
Sign Bros is the place where we made